drama, it's all here. Tune in now, cause Noah's bringing the crew. From the ring to the screen, he's got the scoop. Breaking down WWE, Raw, the crew. Smackdown, AEW, the top spots to be. NoahMania is the name, and the future you'll see. Hollywood buzz and the drama that's real. Noah's on fire and you'll feel the appeal. From the ring to the screen, he's got the scoop. Breaking down WWE, Raw, the crew. Smackdown, AEW, the top spots to be. NoahMania is the name, and the future you'll see. Hollywood buzz and the drama that's real. Noah's on fire and you'll feel the appeal. Podcast, YouTube, where the stories unfold. He's got the content and it's pure gold. From the square circle to the red carpet bright, NoahMania's rising and he's taking flight. A sexy encyclopedia. He's the king of internet media. NoahMania's on the rise, watch him take control. The biggest name on YouTube and he's on a roll. Wrestling drama, all the world trends. Tune in now, cause the fun never ends. NoahMania's got the vision, the heat of fire, climbing higher and higher. He's your empire, the biggest YouTuber. Watch him ignite. It's NoahMania, turning up the light. He's dropping the truth, no holding back. Every
What's up, everyone?
move and every hot track. From the backstage gossip to the latest
Hang
fight,
on.
NoahMania's here to keep it all
Let's make
tight.
things right in the
Smackdown
world.
Hollywood and the YouTube scene. He's breaking it down like you've never seen. All the drama, the tea, and the viral news. You'll never miss a thing. He's got all the views. From the square circle to the
Now
red
we're ready to
carpet
go.
bright, NoahMania's rising and he's taking flight. He's got the takes that'll never tame. When it comes to news, he's the king of the game. NoahMania's
It's
on
Friday,
the rise,
March
watch him take
14th.
control. The biggest name on YouTube and he's on a roll. Wrestling drama, all the world.
YouTube.com/NoahMania. Welcome to the show, everyone. Smackdown. Smackdown from Spain
From the mat to the screen,
wrapped up
to the dream.
about an hour and 3 minutes ago.
On the edge of their seats, wrestling drama, entertainment, he's bringing it all. And the biggest YouTuber, yeah, that's Noah standing tall.
That's enough of that. Wrapped up about an hour and 3 minutes ago on the East Coast, excuse me. It was aired on tape delay, though, of course, because it was in Spain. So we'll talk about that in a little while. Got a great show for you today. DJ Mutt King! Noah, there is a God, the GOAT is here. What's up, DJ Mutt King? Welcome to the show. Let's bring the live chat into the show, shall we? Let's do it. Where the fuck is my live chat? There it is. There is my live chat right there. What's up, DJ Mutt King? Oh man, I am happy to be back. I still got these damn canned strawberry margaritas. So I'm going to commit to each and every one of you because I'm a little bitch. I won't lie. I am, in fact, a little bitch. So I will commit that I will stay live as long as this 12-ounce can of margarita has liquid in it. And but to be fair to me, this Cutwater strawberry margaritas are actually legit because and this isn't a sponsorship, by the way. I wish it was. Hey, Cutwater, if you'd like to shoot me some money, I'd be more than happy to take it. I'd be more than happy to do a sponsored video for you. But I love this margarita. Let me tell you, it's got actual tequila in it. It's not wine. So I'm going to sip this. I'm going to enjoy it. We're going to classy up the joint a little bit. See, with my pinky out, have a little sip. Matt Helms. Hello, Noah. How are you doing tonight? I am just lovely. Why? Because it's Friday and I have the weekend off. I am one of those fortunate few who have weekends off. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna give myself an ego boost. I had been working with a friend of mine who used to work for Geek Squad. I worked at Geek Squad for 15 years. I went out to people's houses, businesses. I drove one of the little Toyota Priuses, the Geek Mobiles. Before that, I had a VW Beetle. I was OG Geek Squad. And I left in 2019 for a real job, a real career. Excuse me. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Well, one of my friends that was a coworker over there got fucked about a year ago, so I had been working with him. As a hobby, I give people career advice and write their resumes for them and tell them how to interview. So far, I'm 2-0 getting people jobs. Very good at it. So that's how I boost my ego, aside from doing this. I'm your good buddy, NoahMania. If you're just joining, welcome to the show. I'm just going to talk about wrestling this week. I know last week I went on a big political tirade. I'm going to try not to this week, even though Linda McMahon is a fucking idiot because she's a puppet, a marionette, if you will, for President Pig shit. Fired half of the Department of Education. Her job is to illegally dismantle a government agency, a federal agency that was enacted by Congress, which is against the law, in case you're wondering. Now, see, now I'm in the politics vortex again. I'll make this snappy, I swear. So, I know what Trump's doing, though. Trump may look dumb, but he's not stupid. Well, jury's still out, maybe. He knows that half the bullshit he's doing right now might not stand up in the court of law, but he's doing it anyway. So that way he can go to his idiot voters, the 350 million people that voted for him, and say, I did everything that I told you I would do. It's not my fault. I did it. But the courts stopped me. The Democrats, it's Joe Biden. Biden stopped me. It's all Biden's fault. It's all Biden's fault. Damn it, I got sucked into the vortex. Pardon me 1 second. And then we're going to get to some wrestling news. I got some good stuff I want to talk about. Oh, I know it's almost a week late, but I want to talk about AEW Revolution. Let's talk about that. 1 second, please. Pardon me. Pardon me just for one momento. I have to hide my shame. Excuse me. The Mania of Noah. What's up, Tony H? Talkman T. Hey, Tony. I would love to have you co-host again. Because I really, with these late night shows, it's difficult for me to get a co-host on. I would love to have you back. But the problem was last time, almost 7 years ago, you joined on a crappy phone and have all your lights off. It was a big pain in the ass and it annoyed me. It aggravated me. If I had you back, would you have a better setup now? Could you let me know in the live chat, please, Tony? I'd appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Hey, I want to talk. Yes, really, Tony. But the problem was your recording habits. All I saw was like your face shadowed over and that big grizzly beard. By the way, do you still have that grizzly beard, Tony H? Let me tell you something I learned about grizzly beards. A bunch of people, bearded men who they took care of their ablutions. They showered, they groomed themselves. But a group of them still plucked hairs out of their chinny chin chin and sent it off to a lab. And the lab results come back with trace amounts of feces. Would love a one-off appearance at some point? No, I need commitment. I need commitment. I don't want to date you. I want to marry you. want to talk about AEW Revolution. Yeah, do you think if we sent, how about this? Remember when we used to do like segments like refrigerator inspections? I want to do a beard inspection. And I want on camera for you to pluck or cut some hair out of your beard. And I want to send it off to the lab and have it tested for feces. I would even be willing to pay for the test. If I pay for the test and I have like a manila envelope with prepaid shipping and like a little medical container, would you be willing to do that for me? And then when the results come, I want you to share them on the air. I want you to be honest. Would you do that if I paid for the test? I will pay for your beard poop test the way that Donald Trump paid for abortions. Oh, Lordy. Lordy. Loud Jesus. Let's drink to that. Hey, Cutwater. Sponsor me. I'll make a better commercial for you than Hulk Hogan did for his own beer. Anything for the people. What would your wife say about that? I gotta ask, what would your wife say about that? If like randomly a test kit to test your beard for shit showed up to your house, and without any context, you just told your wife, "Hey, I'm having my beard tested to see if there's poop in it." What would your wife say? And by the way, when you shower, do you actually put extra shampoo in your beard? I want to know. This show's taking a dark turn. Really dark turn. AEW Revolution. Let's talk about it. Everybody smash that like button. Smash it. Oh, she would not understand, and I would be explaining myself like it's a prank. Oh, this ain't a prank, though. This is very, very serious. Very serious. Oh, man. I would even love for, like, you to film yourself, like, explaining to your wife what the package is. And then we have a whole like series of episodes of the show of the experience where we sign you up for the test. And then the next week the test arrives and you're explaining to your wife. The following week, we actually have you take the test, seal it up. And then maybe you film yourself going to the post office and we put the clip on the show of you dropping it off. And then of course the results. And when we all read the results together, and you're going to have to explain to your wife, hey, when the results come, you and I both have to appear on a YouTube live wrestling podcast where the results that I don't know yet will be read on whether or not they found trace amounts of feces in my beard. What would your wife say about that? In fact, what would your wife say about this whole conversation we're having right now? This has been in your thoughts for a while. There has been trust me, there's a lot of things in my thoughts that you probably don't want to know. Oh man, I'm having too much fun as always. AEW Revolution was this past Sunday on pay-per-view. It's funny because I freaking forgot that Revolution was even on. I mean, I certainly wasn't going to pay $50 for the pay-per-view. Mari Noah, you are not the poop-bearded man. Yeah, it's true. So anyway, I was hanging out with Mike, making sure that he's doing okay. I got to keep an eye on Mike. if I don't keep an eye on him, like, let's just put it this way. I don't want to know. Bad things would happen. So anyway, brought Mike back over to the house. I was making him wash my car. And while I was watching him spray the car off, he was like, oh, AEW Revolution is on 20 minutes. And I said, okay, well, let's hurry up. Let's work faster, Mike. Get the wheels good. Don't miss a spot. And we'll park the Shelby and we'll go back in and watch the pay-per-view. Wasn't going to pay $49.99 for it. But we figured out means of watching the pay-per-view. Big shout out to my good friend that ran extra HDMI cables in the wall at my new house when we mounted my TV. It's wonderful. Let's talk about AEW Revolution. I'll be honest with you guys. I try so hard to follow AEW. Because the reality is, even though from a quality perspective, TNA is the number 2 wrestling company in the world, but from a, let's just call it market cap. Yeah, market cap. That's a good word. From a market cap perspective, AEW is the second biggest company in the world. So I try to follow it, but they carry themselves and they act as if they are an outlaw fucking mud show, as Jim Cornette would say. Talkman T, shout out to Mike. Hope he's good. We went and ate In-N-Out Burger last night. And then him and Mary went for coffee this morning. Yeah. Ironically enough, my grandparents were named Mike and Mary. Really, really freaking weird how life works out. Oh, things I share with you guys. All right, let's run through the event. I didn't want, because again, we didn't start until the actual pay-per-view, so we missed the pre-show. But we caught the actual pay-per-view. I'll run through the results and my thoughts on them. Hangman Adam Page defeated MJF by pinfall. This was the second best best match of the night, excuse me. And it's a shame that this was the curtain puller, because the rest of the show, with the exception of one, was just freaking awful. And there was more than one moment during the show that I literally fell asleep in my recliner. I only woke up to Mike having to swap Mike's hand away, reaching for my wallet. I'm just joking. He would never do that. This was a great match. Hangman Adam Page and MJF are stars. They are the two of, in my opinion, the best pro wrestling stars in the company. There's others as well, but these two stand out. Even Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's made a clown of himself the last couple of years. And I love Jericho. That's what makes this so sad for me. But look, if he can make money into his 50s, wrestling with that giant pot belly of his and the Jericho Cruise, I'm happy. And I don't hate me, Chris. I have an autograph. I went to 2 of your concerts. I actually went to the merch stand and bought a album of one of your albums. I forget, Judas. And the whole band signed it. Really cool. I don't agree with his politics, but I like Fozzy. But Yeah, you're getting up there. Sorry to break it to you. Okay, moving on. Mercedes Moné, who I hate. Can't stand. I've never been able to stand Mercedes Moné. I hate her because she hates wrestling fans. Jericho isn't the same guy in ring. You think? I mean, even with that pot belly, he works better than The Rock can, considering they're pretty much the exact same age. And potbelly 51-year-old Chris Jericho is still better than plenty of 22-year-old quote-unquote up-and-comers. Okay, so Mercedes Moné defeated Momo Watanabe via submission in a singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. So Mercedes retained. I just didn't care. I don't get why people like Sasha Banks so much. Even when she works as a babyface, she's a fucking heel. She hates wrestling fans. She's in it for the money. And whatever. All right. Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana defeated Ricochet by pinfall in the singles match to determine the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. Heel Ricochet cracks me up. They need to bring in Samantha Irvin to be his heel manager. That would be freaking great. She's a mega star to some. Bullshit. I like the idea of Samantha Irvin being a heel manager for Ricochet. She already turned heel on the fans, basically showing no appreciation for the business or for the amazing work she did as a ring announcer and how everyone loved her. She disrespected the hell out of Lillian Garcia, let me tell you. Lillian essentially passed the torch to her and gave her a hug and told her she was doing a great job. So Samantha Irvin basically gave Lillian the middle finger, and Lillian's so classy. She's a classy lady that she just would let it go. Wouldn't hold a grudge. But it's cool, though, that Triple H brought back Lily and gave her a job. I know her singing career wasn't exactly flourishing, so this is definitely a safe space for her. Anyway, yeah, Swerve Strickland over Ricochet. Swerve is now the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. All right. Okada over Brody King by pinfall for the AEW Continental Championship. Didn't care. Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin with MVP over the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum by pinfall. Jeez. Turbo Floyd cracks me up. He's old. He old man. All right. Match of the night coming up next. This is the Falls Count Anywhere for the AEW Women's World Championship. And this should have been the main event. This match disgusted me, thrilled me, made me happy, made me sad, almost brought me to tears. It was truly a Hollywood ending. And of course, I'm talking about Toni Storm. She defeated Mariah May to retain the Women's World Championship and they beat the fuck out of each other. Oh, man. And Toni Storm cut that razor blade just a little bit too deep. And she obviously, because she was bleeding a straight line across the very top of her forehead. So, of course, she fucking bladed. But talk about a bloodbath in that ring. Yeah, Toni Storm, arguably the best thing going in women's wrestling. I couldn't agree more with that. And WWE is trying to put over Charlotte Flair. Oh, man. Yeah, Toni Storm is a star. That's one, you know, for all the shit we all talk about AEW, you got to give credit to Tony Khan on this one. That is a freaking brilliant character. Brilliant. This is like AEW's answer for the brilliance of Broken Matt Hardy. This is at like that level in terms of a great gimmick. Just from A to Z, it's just hit it out of the park. Excuse me. But yeah, they bladed each other. They used broken glass. They did the thing. They put the broken glass. They taped their hands and put the shards of glass and started fucking boxing each other. Oh, man. It was masochistic. Should have been the main event, though. Should have been. Up next, we have the AEW International Championship. It was Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega defeated Takeshita to become the new AEW International Champion. Yeah, you're right, Tony. It is the best. Okay, but look, Tony Khan led it on the TV. That was one thing he did right, was booking that. I didn't care about Kenny Omega. Didn't care. I do find it hilarious he doesn't do the jazz hands in his entrances anymore. Kenny Omega's window's closed, and I don't think he cares at this point because he's buffaloed Tony Khan into paying him enormous amounts of money. Enormous. Will Ospreay defeated Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage match. Cage matches in AEW are freaking weird. That it has to be by pinfall. Very weird to me. You should be able to just escape the cage. Otherwise, put a freaking roof on it. What's the point of having it wide open like that? Okay, yeah, you can do tricks on it. Big whoop. All right. Up next, we had the AEW World Championship match. It was originally Jon Moxley and Cope, Adam Copeland. But during the match, Christian Cage cashed in Money in the Bank. The Casino Gauntlet. And then Moxley defeated Christian Cage by technical submission. This was a cop-out finish. So that way it saves either Moxley or Cope the loss. And they're going to have another match. So it was cool. Like I said, that women's match should have been the main event. All right, let's talk some wrestling news, and then we'll get to some Raw and SmackDown. How does that sound, everyone? Hang on. I need to hide my shame again. Excuse me. Whoop. All right. All right, let's see what's going on in the news, guys. By the way, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm having a blast. It's been so fun to be back and doing this. And I got a lot of great ideas. So what you're seeing right now is just really scratching the surface. I got some things planned. I don't want to talk about it yet, but it has the potential to be really something big. Really, so I'm not confining myself to the bounds of this once a week podcast that we're running once a week right now anyway. But there's some big things coming. I'm very excited about it. All right, let's talk. What's going on in the news? So apparently there's more going on with this Jade Cargill and Shayna Baszler story. So Meltzer reported that the friction between Cargill... Oh, by the way, before we get to this, I got to jump back to Revolution real quick. The part of Revolution that pissed me off the most was... What was Tony Khan thinking putting that fucking stupid woman from the Queen of the Ring movie on TV to basically proclaim wrestling as work on live pay-per-view? That fucking pissed me off. What did you learn most about the wrestling business? Oh, I learned it was fake. You freaking idiot. What an idiot thing to say. They had Jim Cornette on the set of that film, and I guarantee you he was giving the actors and actresses that weren't part of the wrestling business a little bit of an education in the wrestling business. So I know this woman was educated on kayfabe. And in spite of that, she disrespects the wrestling business on pay-per-view. What a way to promote your movie. Sorry, I had to backtrack back to that because I forgot to talk about that. But I was literally yelling at my TV that whole time. All right, so the friction between Cargill and Shayna Baszler. So according to Meltzer, it stemmed from, there's a few different incidents, but there was a match in Scotland where Cargill tapped out in a non-finish was not an unplanned receipt from Baszler. Instead, Meltzer confirmed it was a scripted spot that was intended to lead somewhere. Okay, so the previously reported bullshit about that being a shoot, it's actually a work. What a surprise. And then Captain Obvious said, well, the reality is if someone put a choke during a title match in WWE that made a star tap out that wasn't planned, that person would be fired. Well, I guess he's assuming, but that is probably correct. That would not fly. So, according to this, the real problems are how the real issue is how Cargill handled the problems in the ring. Well, it's acknowledged that botched spots happened between Cargill and Bianca Belair and Baszler and Zoe Stark. The frustration from WWE talent reportedly came from Cargill shifting blame onto her opponents. In one of the instances, she told Shayna Baszler that she needed to learn to work. And Baszler clapped back at her and said, if I was shooting you and I would both know. And yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh, Shayna Baszler would have ripped Jade Cargill's head off and taken a fat shit right down her throat. It would not have been pretty. And I would have loved to have seen that. It would have been better than Toni Storm and Mariah May. All right, so beyond that, there was also confusion. Cargill was asking to miss WWE's Holiday House Show tour. She reportedly didn't know that the company viewed those dates as one of the most important tours of the year. Then right after that, she got injured. So she was asking for time off when WWE expected all hands on deck. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. Just saying. All right. What else is going on? Meltzer isn't very good with his WWE stuff. Head is too far up Tony Khan's ass in AEW. That's very true. I know Meltzer goes to the AEW press conferences. I've seen him there. Has he done any of the WWE press conferences with Paul Levesque? Let me know in the chat. I don't really ever watch those press conferences unless it's like a really major show. So I'm curious. Let me know in the chat. AEW, other AEW news. Apparently they were talking about bringing in Mauro Ranallo. He was backstage at Revolution. And then at one point years ago, there was some early talk or interest in Mauro Ranallo working with AEW, but talks never got serious. I would love for them to replace that idiot wannabe luchador. What's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. The one that never actually wrestled in AEW and just showed up on TV wearing a mask, even though he was just a obscure indie guy from Southern California, I believe. The hell's his name again? Excalibur. But I mean, then again, unmasked, he has a really weird looking face. So maybe that's why. Maybe he's hiding his grotesque face. But it's just weird to me. It's like, hi, I'm Excalibur. He knows the background of this guy. They don't explain it. And unless you were an indie mark, you didn't know who the fuck he was. That was always a pet peeve of mine about AEW. It's always that's one thing that always ground my gears about All Elite Wrestling. They should have brought in Mauro Ranallo. They should have played nice with Kevin Kelly. Both way better choices than Excalibur. Dweeb. Dweeb. All right. What else is going on? Oh, this is a funny story. So apparently on the Bill Simmons podcast, he was talking crap. Yeah, he was PWG. One of the reasons they'll never get it is because the owner's son who runs the team also runs AEW and writes the scripts for it every week. I just don't think they're on the ball. Yeah, but is that fair to okay, so Bill Simmons wanted to claim that the reason why the Jacksonville Jaguars are pieces of shit is because Tony Khan is spending so much time dealing with AEW business. I think that's it's a funny thing to say. And it's also a funny thing that the internet does about speculating that Tony Khan put some extracurricular substances up his nose, which is completely unfounded and probably not true. But people do say that because of the goofy expressions that Tony has from time to time. And I can't believe that him not, because he's paying the lion's share of his attention to AEW. It's his baby. But I have to imagine that Tony Khan's absence from the management of the Jacksonville Jaguars has any bearing whatsoever on the team winning football games. Exactly, Tony. It's because the Jaguars have been bad for the majority of the last 15 years. And not to mention, what's Tony Khan's job title? He doesn't own the team. His dad owns it. And they have a whole, for those of you that don't follow football, typically, unless you're a idiot like Jerry Jones, an owner of the team doesn't typically control all personnel decisions and play general manager of the team unless you're Jerry Jones. That's the only way that that's happening. All right, so Tony Khan joined the Jaguars in 2012. Funny you say that, Tony. Majority of the last 15 years, Tony Khan's been there since 2012. Following his father's, that would be Shad Khan, his father's purchase of the team, and currently serves as the senior president of football and analytics. What is the football and analytics thing? I don't know what that means, but it seems like he's a metrics guy, and that doesn't really jive for me as someone that wields a lot of personnel, like day-to-day personnel control. I mean, obviously, if Tony Khan wanted to fire someone on the team, he could make it happen. But I just don't see. I think it's a fun thing to give Tony Khan shit about, but I don't think that's really, truly a fair statement. Now, what would be his fault and his old man's fault is if they're making horrible staffing decisions in their management ranks. If they're hiring shitty GMs and the GMs are hiring shitty coaches, then you can blame the con men for that. That's fair. So, I don't know. I kind of have to say, Bill Sims, you're full of shit on that one. Sorry to say. So on Dutch Mantel's podcast, he didn't mince any words. He isn't on board with Lex Luger going into the Hall of Fame. I thought that was funny. He said, quote, "No, he doesn't deserve it. But his name was used in such a way on top in the main event, and he was the first one who left Florida. I remember he was there, and then he went to Mid-Atlantic, which was the Charlotte territory. They gave him a pretty good guarantee, and none of the other guys had guarantees. That started him off on the wrong foot." Yeah, Lex was supposed to be the second coming of Hulk Hogan in the early 90s. And like I said last week, it was a big popcorn fart. He didn't win a world title until he went to WCW. And many people blame him for the death of Miss Elizabeth. I don't know if that's fair or not. It's been widely reported by multiple sources that him and Miss Elizabeth had their extracurricular activities that were of a toxic nature, if you know what I mean. But I'm not against it. I think it's awesome what Dallas Page is doing for Lex, and maybe it is time. You don't necessarily need to be a former world champion to be in the Hall of Fame. And I mean, all things considered, Dutch Mantel, you're talking about the same Hall of Fame that didn't they induct Drew Carey into the Hall of Fame? They put Arnold Schwarzenegger in. Yeah, you can put Lex Luger into the Hall of Fame. in that grouping of people, it's more than appropriate. All right. The Janelle Grant Vince McMahon saga continues. And it's going to continue. It's going to go on for years. Unless Vince gets his head out of his ass and writes the woman a check that satisfies her. I think Vince's ego is making him fight it. That's my guess. He feels invincible. He beat the federal government. So he's trying to beat this as well. So Janelle Grant, her legal team, is arguing that WWE, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis are trying to suppress key details about her alleged trafficking case and abuse. Will be poop on the check? It's disgusting. Yeah. So they're trying to suppress key details about her alleged trafficking and abuse, which the amended lawsuit outlines in greater detail. So the additional allegations, including formally identifying Brock Lesnar, so he wasn't previously directly named in the lawsuit, now he is. WWE and McMahon's legal team are objecting, claiming Grant's filing is an attempt to manipulate media coverage, adding new claims that weren't part of the initial lawsuit, and unfairly harming McMahon's reputation. Well, I think, Vince, on behalf of the world, your reputation, as it is secure. The defendants also argued that references the SEC investigation into McMahon and the involvement of his longtime doctor, Dr. Carlin Kolker. What a name. Carlin Kolker should be removed, staying there are irrelevant to the case. Yeah, I think it's valid. Those names should stay in the lawsuit. It is material evidence, as it were. This is funny. So, John Cena. Let's talk about John Cena. We all love heel John Cena. And this is hilarious. RingsideNews.com. Great wrestling website. So let me tell you something about RingsideNews.com. The owner of RingsideNews.com, Steve Carrier, he's a bit of a character, and I find it very amusing. I think the guy's hilarious. I talk to him from time to time. He seems like a good guy, a little misunderstood. He said some pretty inflammatory things, though, that I don't support all of it. But interesting guy, for sure. And I follow his website a lot more than I follow certain other ones. Let's just put it that way. So his website reported that John Cena's bald spot disappeared. John Cena, I don't know. Let's all speculate. I want to know how John Cena made this bald spot go away. Let me see if I can put it on the screen here. This is hilarious to me. Let's see if I can get this to show up. All right, here it is. Whoop. And let's get some sound. Sorry, I don't have an executive producer. All right, check this out. Little bruise. I'm assuming that's makeup. He must have been shooting.
So much. Hey,
Look at that right there. That little spot right fucking there. That was not there before. It was all thinned out. So what do we think John Cena did to get rid of that bald spot? Did he use that kabuki stuff? No, I don't mean the kabuki warriors. There's like this crap that you sprinkle on your hair. And it's like little microfibers that are made out of plants that like cling to your existing hair. And apparently it doesn't fall out. It washes out in the shower. Look at that. Did he use kabuki or is that a hairpiece? See, let me tell you something I don't understand. If I was John Cena, I would do one of two things. I would either just shave that shit completely, or if I had the amount of money that he has, I would like go to the hair clinic or something like that. Get hair plugs. I wouldn't want that giant bald spot on the back of my head. So what's the deal? Do you use kabuki or is it glued on? That's what I want to know. Just something funny. He should have went bald. No, you mean leave it au natural? Just let the bald spot continue to grow? That would have been freaking great. All right. Let's talk about Raw from Monday night. It was their big Madison Square Garden show. WWE doesn't do TV at Madison Square Garden very often, and people think, oh, that's because WWE saves it for a special occasion. And that's partly true, but not completely. They don't do TV there as often as they do house shows. And the reason why is because it's some bullshit that the owners of Madison Square, they charge licensing fees for showing the arena on television. You got to pay a licensing fee. And apparently it's a pretty steep licensing fee, and Vince didn't like to pay the licensing fee. And that could be why they stopped doing WrestleMania there every 10 years and really just going there once in a great while for television. So it was kind of a big deal for them to do Raw at Madison Square Garden. John Cena should have added a beard to it. That's awesome. Raw was actually much better than AEW Revolution, but the Mariah May Toni Storm match was better than the steel cage main event between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. I was still more entertained with that. Yeah, the owner of MSG is a prick. Don't they have that weird AI system in place to where if they don't like you because like you happen to be a janitor at a law firm that sued a company that was affiliated with Madison Square Garden, they blacklisted you from it? And they like have super high tech systems that like scan the face of every single person that walks in and determines if you can get in or not. Yeah, no, that's a thing. That is a real thing. So yeah, nobody should be surprised that they But F WWE for licensing fees. All right, Rob, Monday night. Jey Uso defeated Grayson Waller. I cannot stand Grayson Waller at all. He annoys the crap out of me. Or his buddy with the big teeth, Austin Theory. I hate them both. They are heels, but they are heels in the sense of people are just incredibly annoyed by them. They don't like truly hate them the way they hate The Rock or John Cena. They're just annoyed by them. It's the wrong kind of heat. Come on, Cutwater. Let's get some sponsorship money. Very good. Very good stuff. So Jey Uso defeated Grayson Waller. Who the hell is Andrew Schultz? Andrew Schultz appeared on the show. Weird looking guy with a mustache. He's a comedian. They did a whole thing with Logan Paul and AJ Styles and Andrew Schultz. It was very odd. I don't agree with you on that. I think it's stupid. New Day defeated Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio in a tornado tag match. I love the New Day. It's a new day. Yes, it is. Them as heels is awesome. The only problem is it ain't going nowhere. They had a great idea. They implemented it, and now they don't know how to keep it on the road. And I don't want them to squander this. It scares me because they're doing great. They're over as heels. Love the new entrance music. And it leaves the door open for them to go back to their old gimmick someday. But it was time to give it a break. Yeah, attack a super babyface. But who would they attack, you know? John Cena already kind of let that cat out of the bag. But still, it's cool the New Day got a defeat over Rey Mysterio. That's not bad. Cody Rhodes came out. So, New York, what do you want to talk about? Ha 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 ha. That's another thing. Annoys the crap out of me. Came out, cut a promo on John Cena. John Cena wasn't there, which was a bad move for WWE. They're saving him for, I guess, he's going to be on the show next week or something like that, part of the international tour. But I think they would have been better served by having him show up to MSG and have The Rock show up too. Yeah, they would have been hot-shotting the show, but it would have made it special. It's Madison Square Garden. Cena via satellite. That also would have been a great idea. The Hollywood Rock via satellite. Sorry, I'm a little parched right now. Hang on, let me hide my shame one more time. Then I'm going to continue Raw results. Very sorry. I'm having a great night. Great night. There we go. And thank you all for tuning in, by the way. It's a little after 1 a.m. on the East. 10 o'clock in the West. I'm really happy to be here. Happy Friday night, everyone. All right, up next, Women's Intercontinental title number 1 contenders match. We had Raquel Rodriguez over Bayley. Raquel Rodriguez, freaking big. That is a big girl right there. Just freaking strong. Strong as an ox. Cena turning heel and not being there for 2 weeks didn't do any good with this. Him being back Monday will kick it into gear. Yeah. Should have saved it for MSG. Moment of the night was the next segment. The segment with Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. They just totally disregarded Io Sky. And Io Sky was just like done with being ignored. And she bitch slapped both of them. And then marched out of the ring yelling obscenities. It's pretty great. I laughed my ass off. All right. Steel cage main events. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins defeated CM Punk, but it wasn't clean. They both beat the fuck out of each other. And then Roman Reigns showed up and pulled Seth Rollins out of the cage, giving him the victory, and then went on a tirade, whooping everyone's ass. And I am very curious still what the favor is that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk. We have a feeling it's coming, though, because we're going to get to SmackDown results in just a moment. We know. Yeah, it did feel like a WrestleMania caliber match. Is it going to culminate there? It's got to. Something big has to happen. Something big. Can't be a letdown. But Raw was a decent show. Liked it better than Revolution. Let's talk about SmackDown, which ended a couple hours ago. Well, it aired a couple hours ago on the East Coast. Pre-tape because they were in Spain. It's weird to me when they do wrestling events like TV in like Mexico or Spain or a Spanish speaking country, and hearing the fan, like when the referee goes for the 3 count and everyone in the crowd yells "Uno, dos, tres." I giggle every time. But no, it's cool. Like the energy of that crowd tonight was off the hook. Everyone was singing and chanting, yelling the whole time. It was like the Raw after WrestleMania has really not been like what we remember as a true Raw after WrestleMania. Fans don't hijack the show anymore. And when they have and it was something like what we saw tonight in Spain. It felt like that. It was really cool. Love the fans in Spain. What a great audience. That building was old as fuck, hadn't been updated in decades, it looked like. But that was a cool show. Liked it a lot. All right, let's get into it. Opened up with a 6-man tag match. It was LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, Braun Strowman versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga in a 6-man tag team match. Is it just me, or is Jimmy Uso putting on a lot of weight? He's getting to be a little chunk-a-dunk, it looks like. If he's not careful, he's going to start resembling Solo. But is it just me? Because I know Jay is pretty ripped right now. He looks main event ready for WrestleMania for sure. But Jimmy, he's got some cushion for the pushing, if you know what I mean. He's feeling kind of oozy. That's great. I can't talk any shit though because Jacob Fatu grew up 15 minutes from me, and his dad, Tonga Kid, still lives 15 minutes away from me. Don't come for me. LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, Braun Strowman picked up the win, by the way. Up next, we had Charlotte Flair versus B-Fab. This was a burial. This was a squash match for Charlotte Flair. She's so weird looking now. She needs to lay off the plastic surgery. She constantly changes her plastic surgery appearance. So she had the boob job. They looked very odd. I guess one of them exploded. One of her boobs blew up in the ring, so she had them both removed. But she's gotten plastic surgery in other places since then. Yeah, no, I mean, she's still got the talent in the ring, but I think she's got some, in my opinion, and my opinion is probably not true, she's got some deep-seated issues that she should work on. Possibly daddy issues. Look at all of her marriages that ended in divorce. She's been married, 3-4 times now and divorced. And she has all this plastic surgery. She's got daddy issues and image issues. For sure. Brian Duff! What's up, buddy? I'm about to have another drink of my Cutwater strawberry margarita. I'm nursing it like a little bitch, but I promise to stay on the air as long as there's liquid in this can. Everybody should tweet the Cutwater people and tell them they need to sponsor my show. And send me free send me money. Give me money and free margaritas. That'd be pretty amazing. Now, I don't think that's true, Tony, because her dad is an alcoholic and, when he was her age, he was a womanizer, admittedly. I don't really see Charlotte being easy. I don't think that's the case. And I don't really think that she's an alcoholic the way that her dad is. But she's got issues for sure. In my opinion, which is probably not true. I can't wait. You're going to be in the 5th row at WrestleMania? Good on you, man. Hey, how much did your tickets cost? How much did you pay for those 5th row tickets? I hope you got them really before the prices jacked up. I'm sure you could flip those tickets for a lot of money at this point. Because even I want to go, but it would be financially irresponsible for me to go, given I just spent $600,000 on a new house and I'm now paying 2 mortgages. Because I'm not selling my other house. Well, I meant the gimmick and the marriage commitment stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Brian, tell us how much you paid. Very curious. All right. We had the Miz TV segment with Cody Rhodes. I really wasn't. The time for talk is over. What? Your boss bought the tickets? That's so cool, man. Good for you. Take a lot of pictures and post them on Facebook, okay? I want to see them. That's hella cool. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, these Cody Rhodes promos are getting to be a little old now. Time for talk is over. It's time for action. It's time for Cody to dish out some receipts instead of just talking about it. I cannot wait for WrestleMania. I went from not giving a shit because as much as we love Jey Uso, he's not going to draw a rating point. He's not putting any butts in any seats at WrestleMania. Let's be real. And I don't mean that as disrespect. Again, love Jey Uso. That's your first time going to WrestleMania? Okay, I'm going to give you some advice. Tell your boss. You guys need to show up early. Especially if you've never been to a stadium show. The security at NFL stadiums is vastly different than NBA arenas. Show up early. That's so cool, man. I'm happy for you. I've been to 3. 2 of them with he whose name shall not be spoken. Went to 21, 31, and most recently 39. And given WWE's pattern of just following wherever the Super Bowl is, I'm predicting WrestleMania will be in Northern California in 2 years. At which case I'll go, but I'm not going to travel to go to WrestleMania anymore. It's too much of a hassle, and it's expensive. Up next, Damian Priest over Shinsuke Nakamura by DQ. There's been some rumors about Shinsuke Nakamura's status in WWE, if he was on his way out or not. But then this match is telling people otherwise, that maybe he is going to stick around. Boss has been to WrestleMania at least 7 times, but thank you for the heads up. Cool, man. Well, have fun. Very happy for you. Very happy. Up next, we had Randy Orton, his first in-ring match back. Randy Orton's a guy. He's done a lot of comebacks. What's up, I am Zayas? I think I pronounced it right. Sorry if I didn't. Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes, cheap bargain basement version of MVP. Very forgettable. I don't know what made him. What did he do to break out and become a main event star? Explain it to me. He's Carmelo Vontavious Porter and not quite as good or original. I'll tell you something. Randy Orton's living the fucking life. They did the segment at the beginning of the show where they showed the wrestlers coming in and he came walking in with his wife. You know damn well he talked to his wife and said, "You want to go to Spain?" And she said, "Yes, I do want to go to Spain," and flew out there and they made a little vacation out of it. Randy Orton is living the life. He works a very light schedule, makes a ton of money. He's essentially got the WWE pension plan, which is basically that small group of guys like him, The Miz. There's a few others also, R-Truth, even though they don't make, R-Truth doesn't make nearly as much money as Miz and Randy Orton. Randy Orton's got to be clearing somewhere between $4 and $5 million a year. And they're basically paying him to appear on some TVs, some PLEs, and most importantly, not go to AEW. He's getting up there, but he's kept himself in good shape, and he's set. He's fucking set. He's living a life. Good for him. What's up, Mohammed? Welcome. Oh, yeah. And the best part about Randy Orton is he surpassed his dad. Many guys would be living in the shadow of their dad's footsteps perpetually, forever. Brian Christopher, rest his soul, never was able to surpass his dad. We know damn well The Rock's daughter. It ain't looking good for her. Dominic Mysterio is still too early to tell, but considering his dad is the greatest masked luchador in the history of Lucha Libre, that's going to be a tall mountain to climb for Dominic Mysterio. But Randy Orton has surpassed his father in terms of name recognition and star power. What's your question, Mohammed? It's pretty freaking incredible. Not many people can do that. Cody is, I would say, neck and neck with Dusty, and even surpassed Dusty just a teeny tiny bit. How far do I live from Reno? I live 2 hours. I live 2 hours from Reno. I'm halfway between Tahoe and San Francisco. Is there any chance of you bringing back the Scoopy? Yes, absolutely. I just need to help Mike get his equipment set up so he could regularly do a podcast and get Eric on board. I think if we brought back the Scoop, it would be a slightly new concept where I would not be the primary star of the show. I would function in a producer capacity, and I'd maybe talk here and there during the show, but the show would be mostly driven by Mike and Eric. That's my vision of a modern version of the Scoop. I would let them be stars. Hopefully. Hopefully that answers your question. Now, Brian, why do I want to know why you're asking me where I live? I really are you like gonna stalk me, show up at my house? At one of my houses looking for me? All right, now I'm just being a dick bragging. I bet all those other YouTube podcasters, the Joe Cronins, the people whose names shall not be mentioned but lost their entire audience even though they never left, they don't own 2 houses. Some of them don't even own 1 house. Apartment dwellers. Sparks Reno. Yeah, no, I've gone to Reno a few times. I've also made a few trips out to the Walker River Paiute Indian Reservation. I'll tell you a quick story. In my younger years, I would go to the Walker River Paiute Indian Reservation to get fireworks that one should probably not have outside of the Walker River Paiute Indian Reservation. And to get there, it's really like, when you're driving there, you want to drive there because it's like 2 hours outside of Reno. You got to go out past Sparks to Highway 95, it's a really long highway. I believe you can take it from Sparks all the way to Vegas. So it takes you through the entire desert wasteland of Nevada, essentially. And so, yeah, I went out to the Walker River Reservation to get fireworks. I got every single firework that Joe Dirt would dream of. Not just snakes. It's fun. But I didn't want to end up like that one guy from the NFL that blew his hand off. He bought a whole U-Haul trailer full of fireworks for a block party. Jason Pierre-Paul almost ruined his career. Luckily, he wasn't a quarterback. I'm scared. You're scaring me, Brian. Am I gonna make it out of there alive? I'll tell you what, if you're ever in the Sacramento area, Facebook me. You're buying, though. Just like I made Interstate Kyle. You guys remember him? I would call him Cottage Kyle. I met up with him for lunch a couple of times. I'd have to remind him each time, don't think this is going to be a regular thing. I wonder where that son of a bitch is. Yeah, he played on, and he pointed out, he was like, look, I don't need all my fingers to sack a quarterback, and good for him. Good for him. What is your thoughts on Rusev and Lana getting back together? Okay, how about this? Brian Duff, how's Ruth's Chris sound? Ruth's Chris at the Galleria Mall in Roseville, on you. I want a steak and a lobster tail. Or if you don't like Ruth's Chris, I also like Cattleman's in Roseville. Steak and lobster, baby. Loves me a lobster tail. I'm a jerk, I know. What is your thoughts on Rusev and Lana getting back together? When I saw that on TMZ, my reaction was, aww, that's sweet. So Rusev and Lana, they never got a divorce. Didn't Lana move in with fucking, what's her name, Liv Morgan? They went on their I Hate Men tour. Because didn't Liv break up with Uncle Howdy? But no, they Rusev and Lana, Miroslav. His name's Miroslav, not Miro. I like to call him Miroslav. And Miss Catherine, CJ Perry, they renewed their wedding vows. Good for them. And by the way, Brian, if you are rich, I'd be more than happy to let you take me on a date for steak and lobster, but I'd also be perfectly happy with In-N-Out Burger. I'm not a dick like that. I'll even bring Mike with me. How about that? We'll be a thruple. We'll be a thruple. You can watch me smash a 4x4 in 3 minutes. Yeah, because Mike lives where I am also, Brian, if you didn't know. Mike Nagel lives in one of my homes. All right, Randy Orton beat Carmelo Hayes. Then we had Gunther over Axiom. Cool match. I really, really like. You need to do an 8x8. You can't do an 8x8 anymore. The biggest burger that In-N-Out will make for you now is a 4x4. And the reason that they stopped doing it is because some fucking assholes ruined it for us by ordering 100x100. And apparently it sent the whole kitchen into chaos. So In-N-Out was like, no, nothing bigger than a 4x4. But there's nothing precluding you from ordering multiple Flying Dutchmans. So there you go. I really like Gunther, by the way. I don't want to see him drop the title. I hope Jey Uso loses. I don't know. I think I know what WWE's doing. I think they're going to have Cody drop the title to Cena. And then you'll have a heel undisputed champion and a face Jey Uso as heavyweight champion. But I would much rather have Gunther retain. He's so good. And he looks like a champion. He's a great heel. He's got a good backstory. Why fuck up a good thing? That would bum me out. All right. Main event time. The WWE Tag Team Championship match, DIY defending against the Street Profits, and the Street Profits won. I don't get the Street Profits. I never have. What, like, okay, they were like, I know they did the drop the solo cups from the ceiling, or no, that was AEW, right? See, AEW has a team just like the Street Profits. It's very confusing. And I think it's WWE. They drop the solo cups. And it's just, what is it? Okay, they're party guys. I know one of them is with Bianca Belair. Angelo, no, not Angelo, the other one. Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins needs to see a dermatologist really bad. They did a close-up of like the side of his face, like neck and head, and that motherfucker has so much acne on his face, it's disgusting. It's so gross how bad his complexion is, especially when they do close-ups with the camera. He needs to spend some of that money and go see a dermatologist about that, or wash his face. One or the other. I'm a jerk. I know I'm terrible. That was SmackDown tonight. International tour. That crowd was really hot. The crowds were definitely the stars of the show tonight. Good for them. I gotta deal with the rest of this margarita before I can go off the air. Woo! Okay. Well, I don't know. I think I gotta call it. I've been on for an hour and a half. So let's go on the live chat. Miss it. I don't know what you just meant. What do you mean by miss it? Well, I take another hit. Cutwater, sponsor me. What do I got going on this weekend? So this weekend, tomorrow, fucking windstorm. By the way, Brian, did you guys get hit with a bunch of snow in Reno? We got our asses handed to us this storm. And I at my house, one of the I have a lumpy lemon tree, giant freaking branch came like inches from going through Mike's bedroom window and killing him right there and then. Right there and then. So I got to go clean up that mess. Then on Sunday, I got to freaking unpack more in my new house. And then I got to clear out my storage space. Those motherfuckers are raising my rent again. Got to get out of the storage space. Anyway, I think I'm going to play my shut the fuck up music and get out of here. Cutwater, sponsor me! Damn it! Damn it! Follow me on X. Fuck you, Elon Musk. I love that the site got attacked. X.com/real NoahMania. Follow me on Facebook. Facebook.com/real NoahMania. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. YouTube.com/NoahMania. Share this channel. I'm tired of not having an audience. Bring the band back together, damn it. I'm almost done with the margarita. Woo! Okay, I'm done. I'm out. Ugh, I'm gonna regret that. I am gonna regret that. There we go. All right. Until next time, I'm your good buddy NoahMania. Thanks for watching the experience. I'm out. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you guys next time. Peace.